for tuning in. It is the number one podcast. I am your host, Jake Shannon, and I hope you guys are digging my new set. What's up, Black-Hearted Cynic? What's up, William? Just checking you guys out. What do you think about my new set? I got the neon sign. I got the number one belt over here. So pretty excited about the layout. I hope you guys are doing good today. I wanted to talk today a little bit about, this idea that now granted, I know I'm talking to a lot of people that are from scientific wrestling, and I am talking to a lot of people that are from the business development world, and I'm going to try to tie it all together. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. The number one belt I just got, right? I just had it made. It is essentially in grappling, there's this idea, or in MMA, there's this idea of an absolute title. This is a title that doesn't have a weight class. So from super heavyweight to lightweight, welterweight, anybody, middleweight, anybody could contest for the title, right? The first thing I have to do is I have to belt everybody else. So we are in the process of that. We've already got our tag team champs belted. We've got our middleweight champ belted. Jacoby Jones, by the way, just won High Rollers. He's just crushing it. Super proud to have him as our middleweight champ. And by the way, you guys, go check out shootprowrestling.com. That's where I have I've got the restream on there. So you can go back, watch it for free, the pay-per-view. Now, where did number one come from, right? How is it relevant? So yeah, we got a number one belt, a number one title, but how is it relevant? Hey, what's up, Golden Ruffian? Let's get some of you guys on here. Got a what's up? And let's see who else we got on here. Rodney, what's up, bro? So thanks, man. Yeah, I love it. I'm super excited about the belt. So that said, I got to do the plug. Man, if you guys want, go to Shoot Pro Wrestling or go to YouTube, type in Shoot Pro Wrestling. I've got the first 3 up. Now, I'm going to be switching the business model. The first Shoot Pro Wrestling, which the whole concept, which crazy enough really hasn't been done before, is what's up, Nelson Alexander? Dude, are you not listening, man? Yeah, we're talking all about catch, dude. You got to catch up. So I'm talking about Shoot Pro Wrestling, which is the Catch as Catch Can promotion. I innovated on the rules. We do have singles matches that are Catch as Catch Can. But to get people hyped up and interested, we also did the first competitive professional wrestling tag teams. And we also did the first competitive triple shoots, which are like a triple threat match in WWE. And they're all competitive. It's great. Go to shootprowrestling.com. You can see the middleweight tournament. The video, I've got to get it edited. It definitely needs some work, but I bear with you because you could see how far we've come just at 3 shows. I'm a hustler, dude. So we're going to make this thing amazing. The first show, now this is the deal. The first show that I did, we had, it was a few, hey, Marty Jones, dude, Marty Jones. Okay, now see, this is going to come full circle because number one, Marty Jones is number one, but I'm going to bring all this full circle. You guys got to sit tight. Marty, so happy to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Sorry about the surgery, not the troubles that you're having, and I'm sure you'll be back on your feet. I want to still get you out here. So anyway, Shoot Pro did the first show, all singles matches, straight catch as catch can, with a tag team in the main event. Okay, ragtag, just kind of threw it together, talked to a bunch of friends, got everything together. I literally took my cell phone, set it up, and you can watch the footage. It's definitely a cell phone, but I live streamed from Facebook. We got something like 25,000 people watching the live stream. Okay, I was like, oh shit, man, people are into this. So the next show, I decided, okay, I'm going to try to pay-per-view this. Now, I had tried to do a pay-per-view earlier. There's a website called Kling, CLEENG for those of you who are interested in learning how. So this is also business development, guys. So I'm going to be talking grappling. I'm going to be talking catch wrestling. You guys can hit me up. Hey, what's up, man? Good vibes to you too, brother. Good to see you. We got Brazil in the house. Ask me anything, dude. You can ask me about catch. You can ask me about business. Those are my two subjects. I am probably a bigger nerd than anybody else you know on those two subjects. So I'm here to be accessible to you guys. So you're interested in competing, man. King Catch is happening down in Arizona. Look up the Arizona Catch Wrestling Championships and get in on that. That's a good way to get known, so I'll book you for Shoot Pro. Anyway, I'm trying to stay on Shoot Pro. Sorry, guys. Shoot Pro Wrestling, the #1 title, right? And number one. So Shoot Pro, we got 25,000 people on the live stream on the first one. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to actually try to see if we can do a pay-per-view. We tried to do pay-per-view on the last two. It was a shitter, man. I don't know what to tell you. It just did not go. And and they were way better than that first one we did as well. The first one was magical, of course. And I'm really blessed that the first one took off like that. And we've gotten fantastic feedback from the second one was an actual tag team tournament. So we had tag teams. You got to go to YouTube, Shoot Pro Wrestling 2. You can watch the entire thing. I put them up for free. Number 3, hey, what's up, Onyx? I haven't seen you in ages, man. I hope you're doing good. Shoot Pro 3, I put in a whole new venue because the first venue was a little rough. It kind of had a biker bar vibe to it. The last one we did was in a really nice ballroom. We had a full DJ. It was a nice promotion, really well done. The night of the show, we had a blizzard. You just can't control for these kind of things. So it was a little rough, but the footage and the competition was amazing. Go watch Shoot Pro 3 free. Now, I'm a person that learns from my lessons. No more pay-per-view for me. Okay. The way I'm going to do this, and I'm seeking sponsors because of this. I am seeking people to help out. Hey, what's up, Mark? Good to see you, brother. I'm seeking people who believe in this. Go watch Shoot Pro. If you know, who do you know that can help me? And in exchange, they're going to get evergreen marketing. So I'm going to put on look at Shoot Pro 3. And if you watch the evolution, they're getting tighter and tighter and tighter, the production values. So, and the bookings, we're getting really high level guys interested. So if you know somebody, send them my way. You can email me, training@scientificwrestling.com. They can call me, 303-875-0322. They can DM me. Hit me up. I am looking for somebody who wants to sponsor Shoot Pro. I am one hell of a promoter. I'm going to get your name out there. I'm going to take care of you, make this worth it. And it'll be permanently imprinted on, I'm thinking I'm actually going to do a whole canvas just like they do in boxing and MMA and put your logo right in the middle, okay? Evergreen. You'll have it forever. You can chop it up, use it as you like. We'll have an agreement for the terms or whatever. Of course, can't be detrimental, but I am super amped, guys. I am super amped. So you guys, especially the ones I'm streaming out to the scientific wrestling people out on Instagram live right now, but I'm also hitting like Facebook, Facebook Scientific Wrestling, my Facebook. I have another page that has 30,000 people on it. It's called Fenord. It's about Discordianism, if you ever want to talk about that. I'm streaming out everywhere, okay? I'm integrating all my brands. So with Scientific Wrestling, it's been a fantastic company for me. I started back in 2003. I started because I had been a grappler since 1994 when I went to UFC 2. I was 20 years old, blew my mind. I was there live in Denver, Mammoth Gardens. Mammoth no longer exists. I can't remember what they renamed it. It's a new venue now, but amazing. Changed my life. I moved to California to study with the Gracies and all that. Ended up getting tangled up in pro wrestling. So you took a little bit of Gracie, you took a little bit of pro wrestling, mixed it up. I'm a huge fan. I was a huge fan of Andy Kaufman way back in the day. You mix all that up. I love grappling. I love the competitive. And I found a home with catch wrestling. I found a home there. I really, really, really love it, And anyway, what's Steve saying? What's up, aloha, my friend? We got Hawaii in the house. So, yeah, listen. Oops, where did we go? There we go. So Scientific Wrestling started in 2003 because I liked grappling, but when I started grappling in '94, I was not connected. I knew nobody. Nobody in my family was connected. I wasn't a Gracie I didn't know anybody. And I had just kind of I started in judo at the YMCA in Boulder. And, Lithuania. What's up, Alfred? Dude, Lithuania. Digging it. So yeah, I was looking to make a name, man. I'm always trying to be the biggest and the best at whatever I do. And so it just wasn't in the card. I was really having a hard time. I was banging up against walls. I couldn't get bookings. And I was dating this girl, and she was really this is when the Attitude Era of pro wrestling was starting. And I did not like pro wrestling. I never liked it. The only thing I ever liked was Andy Kaufman, I'm From Hollywood. If you get a chance, go see that documentary. 1,000 times better than the Jim Carrey thing. Jim Carrey did an amazing job. I'm a huge Andy Kaufman fan. But go and rent I'm From Hollywood. It's so hilarious. That was the only thing I ever liked about pro wrestling was treating it as comedy. Well, this girl I was really trying to impress her. And she was really into professional wrestling and all the, The Rock was coming out, Stone Cold, Triple H, it was all huge. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do some pro wrestling just to impress this chick. My heart was still in grappling. But man, I actually had some success. I ended up being able to train with Ultimo Dragon down in Japan, toured with the Vans Warped Tour in 2001, wrestled Vampiro in the Toronto Sky Dome. The troupe that I was with happened to be there when WCW was acquired by WWE. And because we were on the Vans Warped Tour, once that acquisition happened, that was that same summer, we were actually the number 2 biggest gate in pro wrestling. So it was amazing. I had a tryout with the WWE. I was tried out for the first Tough Enough. They flew me out. I was one of I think they had 2,000 applicants. Only 50 of us were invited to come out. So it just was really good, but I was a grappler and I didn't like it. It was cool because I was making money traveling and that, but my heart wasn't totally into it. I love the theatrics. Pro wrestling is getting to be a rock star without having to play music. Okay. I mean, really. So, I ended up getting involved with this fraternal organization known as the Cauliflower Alley Club. And some of you may have heard of it, because I have an audience that spans grappling, business, pro wrestling, all these. So the pro wrestlers may have heard of it. It's called the Cauliflower Alley Club. Lou Thez, for the longest time, was the chairman. He passed literally a month before I was able to meet him. There was going to be a reunion, and he passed away. And I was always bummed I never got to meet Lou Thez. But Red Bastien took over. And I became very good friends with Brad Bastien. And I would talk to him about what I'm like, man, I'm studying this because I'm just a nerd at whatever I do. When I do something, I do want to be the best. So I do my research. And pro wrestling was no different. And I started researching and I'm like, man, what's all this old stuff? Before it was a work. And I started telling him about my, what I like to do. And I like to grapple and all that. And I had been very fortunate. I was in Hayward, California. Well, I was in San Francisco, finishing up my master's degree. I have a master's degree in financial engineering. If you don't know what that is, it's like financial mathematics. So I was finishing up my master's in San Francisco. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go to this pro wrestling school that just opened in Hayward called Pro Wrestling Iron. It was run by Donovan Morgan, Mike Modest, Bison Smith. These were guys associated with Pro Wrestling Noah. And I went there, and it was so awesome because one thing I learned was that the Japanese way of pro wrestling was totally different than what we saw here in the United States. The stuff that I didn't really like, but I jumped into because it was cool, it was paying me money, and I got to travel, and it was neat. But in Japan, there's a bunch of different promotions, so I'm not saying this is a blanket statement, but when I went and trained with Ultimo Dragons guys. It was the clique known as T2P, and their whole gimmick was Lave, Llave, which is all about locks, okay, like joint locks. And so watch T2P. It's Toriman Project 2000 or something. I can't remember what the acronym. Milano Collection AT and Yoshino and those guys, right? Super great guys, by the way. I got to spend like 10 days with them. But when they're not doing a show, the show is pre-scripted, like predetermined. But when they are out in the gym practicing, they're shooting. And I was like, what is this that you guys are doing? This is kind of fun. And it was with the pro wrestling rules. I was like, I like this. At the same time, Sakuraba's coming up and cutting through all the Gracies like a hot knife through butter. I mean, it was a mind-blowing time to be a fan. A lot of the young guys really missed out on that. And people that got into the sport after Ultimate Fighter, because it was just so seminal, man. It was so cool to see Sakuraba. And by then, the jiu-jitsu stuff had kind of become a foregone conclusion. Like, it was like, oh, you need the jits to do. And like, all of a sudden, this like dude who's saying he's a pro wrestler comes in and is not just beaten one at that UFC. Mind you, Sakuraba's in the Hall of Fame for the UFC, and he was only on one show because that was the first time a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy had been beaten. And he did it twice because they couldn't believe it the first time. And they fought again. He beat him twice. Then went on to beat Hoyler and Hoyce and Henzo and the litany, the whole run where he just became the Gracie Hunter. So I'm at Hayward now with these guys from Pro Wrestling Noah, and we're starting to shoot. And I'm killing guys because I know how. I've been grappling for, so I was probably there in 2000, let's call it 2002. So I'd already been grappling for like 8 years. So I was having a good time. And then I'm talking to these old timers at the Cauliflower Alley, and they're like, man, you need to get with XYZ. And they listed some people. Gene LaBelle was one. Red Bastien. Red Bastien hooked me up with a guy named Billy Wicks that you might have heard of. He's given me a hell of a testimonial. You go over to scientificwrestling.com, scroll through the testimonials. He gave me a very humbling testimonial. Love him, man. Rest in peace, Billy. Of course, Billy Robinson, Carl Gotch, Dick Cardinal. They hooked me up with Dick Cardinal. In fact, it was Dean Silverstone, who is also very involved with the Cauliflower Alley, hooked me up with Dick Cardinal, who's a famous carnival shooter. Well, famous in those circles. Let's see. Golden Ruffian. Let's see here. What'd you say? Been listening. Finally able to pick up the phone to comment. You wrestled via Beer on the Sky Dome. Yeah. I actually saw him on Twitter and I mentioned something. I shared a picture and he's like, oh, I remember that. That's kind of cool. Always loving hear how Saku fits in all of this. Oh, what's up, Arthur? Yeah, dude, I didn't recognize it. Okay, good to see you, bro. So who would you most like to see compete in a dude, honestly, I just want high level guys. I want high level guys. There's so much weird contention. And I think this is in all martial arts. Like you find it in like the Wing Chun nerds and you find it in the Jeet Kune Do nerds and everybody gets all fucking in a tizzy about shit. Here's the deal. There's two ways to think of catch, okay? Most importantly, catch is a rule set, okay? Now here's the other bitch. It's not some Moses written in stone commandment rule set. The thing that's important about catch and something that I've been trying to keep alive, people talk about keep a catch alive and blah, 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 blah. And that's not what they want to do, okay? Catch as Catch Can was started in 1870. It is the great granddaddy of the UFC, pro wrestling, Olympic wrestling, and high school and collegiate wrestling. Okay. It is the thing from which all those motherfuckers came from. Okay. So it started out in the north of England, Wigan, Bolton, these cities up in the north, Lancashire County, Liverpool, like all those areas. And hey, what's up, Drew? Yeah, I know I'm on my soapbox, bro. I can't help it. So They came up hard, dude. It was rough. Billy was telling me there was some newspaper said the average life expectancy of somebody, the coal miner, the population of Wigan, it was like 25 for a man. Because it was just hard, man. And they, like things like medicine, plumbing, like it just wasn't, it was a different era and it was very poor and very hard, especially in the North, right? Because you have to understand the Irish were colonized. This is a very crude metaphor and I don't want to get fucking canceled or some shit. But a lot of people that study these things are like, man, the way that the Irish were treated by the British is akin to how the Native Americans or the African Americans were treated in the Americas. It was rough. It was rough for the Irish. And Billy used to tell me all the time, he's like, man, there's more Irish in the north of England than there are in Ireland, right? That's why it's a very interesting accent up there. So they grew up hard, man, and they're working all day in the mines and things like that, right? Rough. Like Billy told me a story. All this is in Physical Chess, the book that I ghost wrote with Billy, Billy's autobiography. I highly recommend it. It's a cool read. And I'm not saying that because I ghost wrote it. It really is great. It's a cool book. Really interesting piece of history. And it's not that long. Anyway, like back then, having a piece of toast with one egg and a scoop of beans on it, that was your whole meal for the day. And then you went and worked in the mines. Then these sick fucks would get done with working in the mines and they would go and they would wrestle for bets. Betting, there was no fucking swiping left or right. There was no Call of Duty jerk off shit, dude. There was no Pornhub. None of that, dude. These guys lived hard, okay? They lived really, really hard. And betting was like fun for them. That was their entertainment. And they bet on everything. They would bet on like who could do a standing jump into a barrel. I mean, like dumb stuff too. But you have to understand there was this interesting merger of cultures that happened in the 1870s. You had the Irish immigrants coming in and getting jobs, right? Because you have to keep in mind the potato famine pushed a lot of people out of Ireland, not just to America, but also across the channel to England, okay, which is only like 250 miles or less, right? So what's Tuhan say here? I think the best I've ever done is learn catch from Billy Robson, a blessed one directly from Potenza and all the great. Yeah, John came to a few things. He kind of dropped off the planet. Love to see where he's at. But yeah, he came to a number of seminars and he actually had a hard time getting certified. I really pushed for him. And because Billy didn't want to give him the cert. And I was like, no, come on, Billy, you got to do it. You got to do it. I mean, I totally went to bat for him. And I told him, I said, dude, you better get this down tight because he's not, Billy didn't suffer fools easily. And so, to their credit, they really stepped it up. And Billy was like, okay, yeah, he's okay. So, John's a great guy. Miss talking to him. And what else did you say? Oh, yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. A lot of work, man. 20 years of information put up on scientificwrestling.com. So anyway, these guys, you had the Irish who had their own like form of collar and elbow, and collar and elbow had some submission sometimes, and then rough and tumble fighting, which is kind of like what you see in the gangs in New York, right? Where they're like ripping eyes and biting off ears and fish hooking people and stuff, which is on the ground. It had a lot of ground fighting, like wrestling on the ground. Along with, there was an influx of Flemish people from Belgium, Flemish weavers who came in, and they actually had submissions that all just kind of added into the mix. And so you had all these interesting people. And in addition, you have to remember the British Navy. So Manchester was a big port where all like the military ships and commercial ships would come and go. Well, the poor guys, have you ever heard getting shanghaied? Where you're in a bar and somebody hits you over the head. Next thing you know, you're on a ship and you're like, fucked. And you've got, like, they basically kidnapped you to become a hand on a ship. Well, they went all the world. And this is where they saw like the Kushti wrestling, the Indian wrestling. So anyway, all of this was coming back and mixing with these crazy dudes who were betting on fights. They were betting on themselves, which I love. I fucking love that. If you're going to bet on anybody, bet on yourself. All right? Remember that. They bet like, okay, after a long day in the coal mines, they're like, fuck it, man. Let's wrestle. And this is where the rules of Catch as Catch Can started. You have to understand, prior to Catch as Catch Can, it was taboo. It was like really a no-no, very socially frowned upon to wrestle on the ground. Everything was upper body wrestling like we see in Greco-Roman today, right? That kind of wrestling, backhold wrestling, that kind of stuff for the throw. And that was the win. But then you stopped. There was no more wrestling on the ground. Catch was like, fuck that. And let's keep going and see who's the better man. Pin or concession. Now, this is the long-winded way of me getting around to the fact that there are competing rule sets. And I don't even like the word competing. That's not even accurate, honestly. But it helps you get your mind around it. The two wrestlers would negotiate on the rules. And they could say, hey, we're going to wrestle, but for us to wrestle, I want to bar Nelsons, right? Because Nelsons are very, very dangerous, and particularly a full Nelson. The other Nelsons are no problem, but a full Nelson will kill you. It's killed a lot of people, okay? Or chokes. I'm going to tell you something, man. I can understand why. It retired me. I got choked too many times. That's why I had to get medically retired from grappling. And I didn't want to. But I stopped losing feeling in my hand, started having fucking strokes. I have one carotid. My left carotid is completely collapsed. Completely collapsed. It's called a carotid dissection. Do this. Google carotid dissection in BJJ. My buddy Chris Martin, a BJJ guy up in Wisconsin, he had a carotid dissection like me. And he has been spearheading and gathering the data, man. It is not good. So I understand why chokes could be barred. Because people are stroking out. CWO, what's up, bro? Yeah, dude. Catch World Order, man. Taking over. So to this day, like, so if you look at Wigan, right? Roy and Andrea Wood at Snake Pit. Great people. Fantastic people. If you can go train there, go train there. Okay? Great people. When Billy and I went over to the UK for the first time in 2011, there was no catch in the UK. There was none. I mean, I'm sure there was maybe some carnies or something somewhere practicing and rolling. So it will never die. People will always do this at some level. People will always know this, especially with the efforts I've done to put the information out there on the internet. And now the techniques are there. Okay. But there was no organization. There was no place to learn at all. Roy was dedicated to, I think he was coaching like some woman in Guam for freestyle, and he had a freestyle club. That was really what he was into. Nobody was doing it. And then Billy and I came out and started pushing and promoting it. Man, we literally hit like every city. It was an insane. We did that tour for a couple of years. And anyway, so for example, Snake Pit Wigan, they just had everybody calls their stuff world championships. But I am happy now. Like when they started, they were booking it just with people that went to their training camp, and it was not very good people. But now they're actually getting high-level athletes. And I'm very excited. They just started releasing the footage on YouTube, so I can't wait to sit down and watch what they've done. They're doing great. But a case in point, they don't allow strangles. They don't allow strangles because, the way Roy came up, strangles weren't allowed the way that he did it. Well, for me, and this is what I like. I mean, this is where I get upset because some people are like, well, that's not catch and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, let me just show you like 5,000 articles from newspapers showing strangles allowed in Catch as Catch Can. I mean, it's not even worth debating, okay? You just need a little bit of grappling literacy. And that's something I'm really trying to push because I feel that people are missing out on really understanding the depth and breadth of of grappling, but in particularly the catch thing. I think a lot of people are not getting it and not really integrating. And it's such a fantastic study. But you could have rule set where the strangle is barred or where it's allowed, or the toe holds are barred. I mean, I think there were some matches where some guys would only wrestle Frank Gotch if the toe hold was barred. Okay, so that is something that I feel that is essential to catch as catch can, is this idea of rule. Now, the one thing that is non-negotiable, I talked to Billy about this, I talked to Carl Gotch about this. These guys were my mentors, and I bugged them. I picked their brain. Like, I'm blessed that because they love it as much as probably even more than I did, which I don't know anybody who loves it more than me, other than those two guys. Honestly, really, like, live and breathe and do everything that you possibly can for it and move mountains for it. The only thing that was non-negotiable is the pin. Okay. And man, I had so much pushback on that. I've been trying to sell catch can for 20 years. Okay. Just selling it, not just practicing, but trying to get people to wake up a little bit here. And the pin, the leg locks, the Nelsons, the cradles, I feel like finally we are making a dent, and we are starting to get high-level guys to get it, to break through, I hate to say it, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu kind of marketing, the matrix that had created to actually get real grappling literacy. Now I have a lot of respect for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and if that's what you do, go to town, it's great. But taking names and renaming them and acting like you invented it, come on, that's just no good. But so somebody like Danaher now, Gordon Ryan, they're talking about pins. They're talking about leg locks, right? I saw some Gracie video where they're doing Nelsons now, which is great, okay? Cradles. I've been pushing cradles. I'll tell you a story. The way I figured out cradles was that I got caught in one. And then, so I was wrestling my buddy Alex. I think he's a Ray Diogo, or however you say his name, black belt down in Venice. Very close friend of mine, very good friend of mine. And we were wrestling or grappling. And I was doing pretty good on him. And he's a stud. He's a strong dude. And I had him. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't move. Now, he couldn't submit me, but I couldn't move. It was a stalemate. Okay. And so anyway, I was like, what was that? And he's like, dude, that was a cradle. And I'm like, oh my God. Because I had learned cradles, but I'd never been cradled. And it was a mind blower because I never thought about it grappling. And at that same time, I was in contact with Mark Schultz. And Mark, fantastic human, had a very super volatile life, man. The highest of highs and the lowest lows. Fascinating human being. If you could take a seminar with Mark, I highly recommend it. He is a genius. I learned a crap ton of super effective stuff. Now, this is because, Mark came from a strong folk style, freestyle background, went into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Pedro Sauer. And, oh man, what's the other guy in Utah? I'm killing it. I can't remember his name. Somebody help me. And he's fantastic. Oh gosh, he's an artist now. Oh man, I'll think of it. I'll have to Google it. Anyway, had all kinds of great things, right? And he cradled Hickson for like a half hour. And I'm putting all this together, and I'm like, man, I need to figure this out. And this is just something that I do. Now, this is good, not just if you're wanting to learn wrestling or grappling, or we're getting a lot of comments. Hold on. It's good that to always try to seek out the greatest mentor, the highest level people that you can to learn from. It will shortcut your time. This is why you hire a coach, whether it's a business coach, a grappling coach, whoever. You hire them because it's going to shorten the curve for you. Like, it's going to shorten the time. That learning curve is not going to be as long, because they're going to show you the tricks, the shortcuts, the things that they've earned, okay? Or that they learned from their coach and passed down as well, right? Like Billy Riley to Billy Robinson to me. Or Joe Robbie, Billy Joyce's brother, not related to Billy Robinson. Joe Robbie to Carl, to me. Or Benny Sherman, Dick Cardinal, me. Or Gene LaBelle, right? Like you want, I'm going after the greatest, smartest people I possibly can. Well, when I wanted to figure out cradles, I was like, I need to look up Wade Chalice here. And you know what? I think, if you're really sincere and you're willing to do anything, which I am, I'm like super committed when I get involved with something. These high level mentors will want to help you if they're good guys, right? And every single one of them have become an integral part of scientific wrestling, right? So let's go to some of these comments here. We have Meme Expert says, what about Lancashire Catch? Yeah, it's awesome. Let's see. Hamilton, I don't know where that is. Let's see. Catch as Catch Can has one problem. Unlimited amount of knowledge and education. Okay. Alexander, I appreciate that. I'd like to touch on that. So Alexander Afinaganov, and I'm sorry, I just am bad at pronouncing names sometimes, says Catch as Catch Can has just one problem. Unlimited amount of knowledge and education. This makes catch uncommercial in long period of time. P.S. BJJ sucks. Okay, listen. You're right in one part, you're wrong in another. Okay, BJJ doesn't suck, okay? It's just not your cup of tea. Some people like strawberry ice cream, some people like vanilla, some people like chocolate, whatever, okay? I'm with you, though. I definitely chose Catch, and I got to taste all the flavors, and Catch was definitely for me, okay? Unlimited amount of knowledge, education, okay. I'll give you that, although I'd say it's finite, but there's a crap ton because it's been going since 1870. So there is like a seriously massive amount of knowledge in the Catch as Catch Can, in the study of scientific wrestling, Catch as Catch Can. But I don't think that's the problem. I think there's a couple problems. This is just me after 20 years of making a living as a pro with this catch wrestling thing. There's a couple problems. I don't think I think the knowledge thing is a huge selling point. That's what lures a lot of people over is the grappling literacy part. Just so much amazing information from takedown, setup, strategy, submissions, pinning, rides, control, like just unbelievable different rule sets. It's knowledge-wise, you're right. I think the big problem is that I think we're used to retail martial arts. I'm just going to be real here. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, super effective, some of the toughest guys in the world, okay? But it's a completely different philosophy than Catch as Catch Can, business-wise, okay? So first off, with wrestling, any wrestling, the only belt color you care about is gold. The only color belt that matters is gold. You hear me say that, you see that on all my ad copy, TM, trademark, whatever, I don't care. The only color belt that matters to us in scientific wrestling is gold, okay, in Catch as Catch Can. That makes it hard for retention when you're a business owner and you own a gym and you want it. The thing about the belts, it's the same thing that keeps you going to different levels on a video game. You get dumb little badges and the bells go off and whatever. It's a great tool for retaining people who normally might not otherwise be retained. People that need those little attaboys and that rank and the structure, okay? Catch just doesn't really have that, okay? You're either a fan, an athlete, a coach, or a promoter, okay? That's it. And you could be all of those. I am. I'm all of them, right? Or have been in different times of my life. I'm going to be fucking 49 here in a week, which I can't believe. But Walt Bayless, Rashid, dude, you totally came in, bro. Thank you, dude. Rashid, you are the man. By the way, I have not seen you in a long time. I'd really like to see you. Let's figure it out, man. Let's figure this out. Walt Bayless, yes, dude. Walt Bayless totally was showing Mark like leg locks and shit like way early. So Walt is a badass too. I never met him. I know him online, but I've never met him. Anyway, I'm totally getting totally off. I've opened up 10 million cans of worms. I hope this is okay for you guys. If this is okay, I want to talk about grappling. I want to talk about business, and we could go anywhere, honestly. Like, those are the things that I have. I think I could be useful in terms of knowledge and experience. But other than that, we could talk about anything. The best way to interact is through the comments. And like I say, I could share them if you come anywhere except Instagram. Instagram, I can't do it, but I have this multi-stream tool that allows me to see everybody from Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm everywhere right now. I'm omnipresent, as my partner and mentor Grant Cardone says. I am omnipresent. So anyway, if this is working out for you guys, I do this podcast every day for you guys on Instagram. I've been doing it on my personal Instagram, but I think I'm going to start doing it to the Scientific Wrestling Group. Let's see. Rashid said, "I'm coming back soon." Oh fuck, man. Sorry, man. Get well, dude. Jesus, how'd you do that? He ripped off. He had to get his bicep reattached. So that sounds like a bodybuilding injury, though, to me. Anyway, so yeah, guys, couple things coming up, right? So you want to dip your fingers into the Catch as Catch Can world, see how I was trained. Come to coachingcatch.com. Coaching Catch is our it's the Scientific Wrestling Accelerator Camp, okay? But you go to coachingcatch.com to register. The Scientific Wrestling Accelerator Camp has two functions. Let's say that you just are like a jiu-jitsu guy and you're like, I need to figure out these weird strategies these catch wrestlers. Come on in. You can learn. We're open source. There's all these people, oh, you teach this stuff to jiu-jitsu people, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what are you, fucking in the caveman times? We live in the information age, dude. Like, you can't hide information anymore, dude. Everybody knows everything. It's scouted. It's just bandwidth is like, what do you actually dedicate yourself to? Very few people dedicate themselves to Catch as Catch Can. Anyway, the camp will serve two purposes for you. One, you just want to get in there, learn the techniques, do the drilling, start to get known in the community and stuff. Fantastic place. Okay. Kendo Jedi. It's worth it. I have it. Awesome. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. But the second thing that can happen if you decide to stay on and keep coming to camps is you can earn a coaching certification. So we have a number of assistant coaches and a handful of full coaches that have gone through. And you can go to coachingcatch.com. You can see what's involved. It is not cookie cutter. It's not come to 3 camps and you're good. You know who you are. It takes a lot of work. And it's like, so in the grappling community, there's this idea of the white belt mentality. Well, that's what we always have because we don't have black belts. We have gold belts. And that's it. And it don't matter because on any given day, somebody can have a bad day at champ, right? You can beat anybody on any given day. So Coaching Catch, that's coming up. We got San Diego the weekend of July 10th. Come down there. If you're in Southern California, man, you're missing out. I would highly recommend you come down there. Get on the Scientific Wrestling Instagram. That's like where I post all the info at Scientific Wrestling. It's super easy. You guys obviously know that. So we got Coaching Catch coming up in July. We've also got 2 different tournament opportunities. So number one, let me talk about number one for a reason. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. My friend Marty Jones, the wrestler, he was in Billy Robinson's first class of students in Manchester and then went on to become a very famous pro wrestler. And his gimmick was number one, Marty Jones, number one. Love it, right? And then I was in Billy's last class at the culmination of his life's work at Catch as Catch Can. The last 7 years of his life, I was his apprentice, like his right-hand man. And so Marty and I bonded over that. I've toured coaching with him. Great guy. Okay. That's just incidental. I've recently made that connection. I like number one because the whole idea here is to go from no one to number one, right? From no one to number one. And I try to do that with scientific wrestling, and I try to do that in my business development coaching as well. So, coaching catch curriculum is the only one co-developed with Billy Robinson, with a bunch of other stuff that's from my experience, from my teachings or my learnings from Gene LaBelle, Dick Cardinal, Wade Chalice, Carl Gotch, all these other guys as well. Heavily influenced, of course, by Billy Robinson because he was my coach the longest and the most intense. And at the end of my competitive time as well. So I actually, I medically retired the same year he died, just as I retired like probably about a month. Maybe it was because I retired at the end of 2013. He died at the beginning of 2014. It was probably maybe 3 months. It was a rough time. It was a rough time of my life, but Coaching Catch, the only curriculum co-developed with Billy Robinson. The only one. Everybody else loves to use his name. We were the only one that he endorsed, okay, to the day he died. Now, the competition tournaments. Hey, what's up, Gregory? What's up, dude? Hey, from the Snake Pit Wigan, dude. Love what you guys are doing. You guys are really figuring out, and you're blowing up. I'm so freaking excited, proud to know you. Keep going. Great stuff. King of Catch tournament. I started that in 2007. Only rule set co-developed with Carl Gotch. Carl Gotch, if you don't know, go to carlgotch.com. You can go and hear a bunch of hours and hours of conversations he and I had from 2004 to 2007 when he passed, middle of 2007. He cornered Inoki in the Muhammad Ali Inoki fight. He was the one behind Pancrase with Minoru and Funaki, which was the first MMA. Now, it had some works in it, but who hasn't? But it was the first MMA. It opened its doors, I think, a month before the UFC. So you can argue Carl has as much influence on MMA. And we started New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was seminal with New Japan Pro Wrestling, with all of the UWFI stuff. Only rule set co-developed by Carl. I'm very proud of that as well. So again, though we're going to be having one in Arizona, Coach Gill, who is an affiliate, a Scientific Wrestling affiliate, just like how 10th Planet and everybody else has affiliates. Scientific Wrestling just started our affiliate program. We're very proud. We've got 4 of them now. We've got 1 in Canada, 2 in Colorado. I'm from Colorado, so that's why. And then Arizona just popped open. Coach Gill is in charge of that. He's an assistant coach, very close to becoming a full coach. He's been with us for a minute. He's running King of Catch in July. Look up Arizona Catch Wrestling Championship on Instagram, has all the dates. And then I have to confirm end of July in San Diego, where I believe I have to get my data right because this is so mind-blowing. Luis Ojeda, who is a full coach with Scientific Wrestling, one of my closest friends, like a brother. I consider him my last competitive match. And it was a rubber match. He won 1, I won 1. Great guy. He's running a catch wrestling duel. First one ever. In San Diego at Arena MMA, where we're having the Coaching Catch seminar at the end of July. So if you have any questions about any of that kind of stuff, just ping me, DM me in the stuff, right? So hold on a second here. Another one. Alexander. Example, when I visited Yoshiaki Fujiwara in 2015, he was better in part. He was better in about everything than in his older videos. Okay. Oh, yeah, right? Well, because, Alexander, hopefully we're all learning, right? Never stop learning. There you go, dude. Like, if you're not learning, you're decaying. It only takes 12 hours for your skills to get rusty, man. That's crazy, right? Skills are degradable, right? They're perishable. So you've got to train. You've got to stay on it. And, Billy was learning until the day he died. He was still learning all kinds of stuff. He was like all figuring out MMA and figuring out, the guy was a genius, right? But that's what you got to do is you got to challenge yourself to keep learning, always improve, always improve, always improve. So I'm glad to hear that. I haven't spoken to Kumicho in a couple years. I probably need to reach out. He's a legend, amazing human being. Yoshiaki Fujiwara, amazing human being. I highly recommend if you have a chance to meet him or study any of his stuff as well. Um, anyway, guys, we're creeping up on an hour already. I'm going to be doing this regularly. So I'm going to be talking, we didn't talk too much business. We talked about the business of grappling and the business of catch a little bit. But we could go into other. So in the same way, I told you it's important to me to go after the very best mentors that you can. That's why I went after Carl Gotch, why I went after Gene LaBelle, why I went into the study with Billy, why, made all the sacrifices, took the risks, just did it, didn't make excuses. All those guys, right? Like everybody knows that. Like the list is long of the people that I've tried to learn from. Well, so it goes in business. Like I said, I have a master's degree in financial math. I don't think most people, very few people have a financial engineering degree. But in addition, I keep learning. So probably my biggest mentor, I have a few business mentors. One I learned from when I was working in an investment bank in 2003 in LA. It was like me, 6 Harvard MBAs, and this billionaire. It was mind blowing, but it really opened me up to what they talk about and how they think, and to start tuning into that. Brandon Dawson is a genius, and I follow closely his mentorship in business. And Grant Cardone. I mean, I know he's wild and crazy, and you might just know him from his crazy videos and stuff, but the guy's a genius, and sincerely, like, eager to help people that are serious and willing to follow his suggestions. So I'm open to talk about all this stuff. I'm going to be showing up here pretty much every day. I wish I could give you a set time, but I am so damn busy. And like, for example, last week I had to take the whole week off because I was so busy. So I do aim to do this consistently. You can go check out old episodes. I have them on YouTube. I have them on Spotify. I have them in all kinds of places. You can check all of that out at no1.ninja, no1.ninja, just like this, no1, and then put .ninja behind it. All right. So, yeah, man, I'm going to wrap it up. I want you guys to try to hit it at Coaching Catch in July. I'd love to see you. Oh, and then July 23rd, that weekend, day after my birthday, I'll be freshly minted 49-year-old. We're going to be having a seminar at the very first affiliate, by the way, Scientific Wrestling affiliate, is Scientific Wrestling Canada. They're in Ontario, Windsor, Ontario, just across from Detroit, in fact. But the first American is V10 training here in Aurora. First American, Coach Vern Earwood, and we're running a camp here in Denver. DM me. I just posted it on the Instagram, so go to @Scientific Wrestling Instagram for all the details. That weekend, 23rd, 24th. Don't miss it. He just opened a brand new gym. It is sick. It is huge. It's super impressive. You're not going to want to miss it. Come on out. Meet me. Meet my assistant coach, John Fab. Fucking brilliant, super tough guy. Close friend of mine for 20 years now. And Coach Vern, and see the new gym. Love to have you out there. So we got 2 King of Catch opportunities for tournaments. We've got 2 Coaching Catch camps in July. Super duper busy. I'm working on booking the Shoot Pro Wrestling. I need your help. You guys know some sponsors that believe in what I've been doing and want to help out, and I'm going to push the living bejesus out of them with promotions, and they will get evergreen marketing. Please send them my way. I need sponsors because I'm not doing pay-per-view. That shit is for like greedy schmucks. It doesn't work. I tried. I was a greedy schmuck. It didn't work. I'm going to be doing it all completely streaming live for free, but I need sponsors to cover the cost then if I'm not going to recover anything, right? So please, guys, send me if you have a business or you know somebody, and if you have a business and you can't afford to sponsor somebody like this, you can't afford to sponsor my company, hire me, dude. I guarantee you an increase in revenues, in sales, 30 to 50% increase in revenues in 3 months. Look at what your company's doing. Take 30%, take 50% of that and add it in 3 months. Okay? Then you can sponsor me. All right? So, does he have bony forearms? Who the hell are you talking about, man? Me? I've had that said about me a couple times. Um, and the other thing that you can do too is I did develop, so the amalgam of my passion for business and my passion for catch wrestling is truly the Scientific Wrestling Affiliate Fight Gym program. And I keep adding and stacking value and making it better and better. When we launched literally 2 months ago, in the last 2 months, I already got 4 affiliates. So 2 affiliates a month, man. We're like crushing it, dude, because it is truly the best deal in the business. Let me just give you the commercial real quick. You get 2 full coaching catch certification all the way to full coach, tuition paid. Each one of those is $5,000. That's a $10,000 value right there. Then, so you make money teaching classes, teaching seminars, doing training camps, whatever you want to do. That's just one way of making money. Second, hopefully you guys know, I invented the mace bell, the modern fitness mace movement. That's me. Now, a lot of other people picked it up. Thank goodness. It shocked me. But, and this was thanks to Carl teaching me. But I innovated it, added a bunch of different exercises, added some names, some nomenclature and stuff. Anyway, you're going to get a mace certificate. But it's not just mace. And it's going to have my number one student, Mr. Mace Man, Rick Brown, who is a freaking beast, best trainer for mace, been around doing it the longest too, number one. But we're also going to go over the catch conditioning stuff. So the Billy Robinson stretching protocols, all of Carl's fitness protocols, all that's going to be something that you could teach and teach to your clients as well. Then, as if those 2 revenue streams weren't enough, go to scientificwrestling.com. Look at all the different stuff I sell, from membership websites to instructional videos to books to merch. You get resale rights, up to 50% commission on those, including reselling the affiliate program, okay, which is $10,000, and you get a 20% commission. So you can make $2,000, dude. I'm just telling you, nobody. I'm known in business as being a disruptor, right? Creating the mace bell, creating scientific wrestling, doing these things, disrupting industries. It's like what I do. This is a game changer. If you own a gym, let's say you have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym. I'm not saying you don't have to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm saying add this. Now you can have takedowns. Now you can have pins. Now you can have Nelsons. Now you can have leg locks. All that stuff, okay? Plus teach you Jiu-Jitsu. Or let's say you have a boxing gym and you're losing clients who go over to the strip mall, McDojo, retail martial art guy. And now you can actually retain your clients because you've got a solid grappling curriculum. And if they do lockdowns, you could start doing the resale rights, start selling the training materials as well. Okay? In addition, you're going to get 6 months of 10X certified coaching from me. Only one of 55 people on the planet. I was in the number one, the first graduating class of people certified by Grant Cardone to teach the 10X. I'm 10X certified. You're going to get 6 months of that. Okay? Go over and I'm working on some other stuff that is going to be insane. It's a business in a box. And when this next part is added, which is coming, I'm going to guarantee you making your money back. I'm going to guarantee you making your money back. I just have to crunch the numbers. It's probably I'll guarantee you'll make your money, the $10,000 back in inside of a year. In fact, I may get crazy and say you're going to 10X the investment. I got to figure out the numbers. When I add this last component, dude, it's done. Anyway, we've already got 4. The first 8 get in at $8,000. Then it goes to 10. And I right now I'm saying 100 at that level. I'm thinking of axing it down to like 25, and then it'll go up to 15, and then and another 50, and then it'll probably go to 20, and I'll probably keep the affiliate at 20. I'm just telling you guys, I know what the other guys are charging. I do my market research. Let's say you're paying somebody $300-400 a month. Okay. You know that's like $10,000 at like 2.5, 2 3/4 years. You pay me $10,000 and I'll finance it. So you could pay. I have a financing company that'll spread it out over 8 years, assuming you have over a 600 credit score. Spread it out over 8 years and you're paying like $150, $160 a month. Plus you get all those revenue tranches. Anyway, it's an hour long. I appreciate you guys staying with me. And like I said, I'll be here every day. Hope to see you guys then. Till then, be strong. Oh, wait, Jonathan's right. Yeah, don't forget being a king. Then I give you a promoter license. And all your guys get a buy right into Shoot Pro to vie for the #1 belt. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.